Crystal Young introduces us now to a man who is also inspiring a lot of other people.
Essence is the most widely circulated black magazine in history. Its first issue hit newsstands in 1970. The new book, The Man from Essence, tells the story of Edward Lewis, its CEO and publisher. Lewis co-founded the magazine along with 3 partners and remained the last man standing when the publication was sold to Time Inc. in 2005. But getting it off the ground wasn't easy. Along the way, he heard lots of no's.
And we just kept at it, and we were able to get people to ultimately to believe in the idea of backing for black men to help start this magazine for black women.
18 years later, he scored again with Latina magazine.
I thought that if I already have a magazine for black women, and I can also help deliver a magazine for Hispanic women, together we'd be an incredible marketing power. And that's what drove me to get involved and help fund Latina.
Lewis helped inspire people like Kierna Mayo, who's now VP of Digital Content at Ebony.com. Mayo faced stiff odds as one of the creators of the stylish hip-hop magazine, Honey. Honey debuted in 1998 and lasted only 5 years before folding.
Reaching folks through circulation means newsstands and on through subscriptions was not always an easy thing to do. While you can have this kind of buzziness in the air, doesn't always translate into circulation, and it certainly doesn't always translate into advertising dollars.
One of the toughest hurdles for both Lewis and Mayo was raising seed money and convincing backers that a viable market existed for their product. Although the challenges can be difficult for minority publications, Matthew Flam from Cranes, New York, says the entire marketplace is tough and the web is making things tougher.
New magazines tend to be very specific. You know, they're regional, they might be about food, they have a kind of enthusiastic audience built in. If you're starting a magazine now, there has to be a reason why it's a magazine. It has to be something beautiful to hold, great photography, something that you just can't get on the web.
Okay, it's competitive, but entrepreneurship is very much alive and well, Crystal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I learned that it doesn't have a race, it doesn't have an age. If you have a good idea, there is no substitute for hard work. You just have to go for it.
That's the way it is. Let's find out more about that. Thank you, Crystal.
You're
okay,
welcome.
because we're going to get it right now from the man himself. Edward Lewis, it's so good to have you here today. Well, what an inspiration you are. Thank you for joining us, really. It's so great to see a story like that and someone who had the determination and the desire, and you made it happen. And there are a lot of people who say, you're a role model. I've got an idea. What am I going to do with this now? Give me some good advice. How do they start?
You have to make sure that your idea is different. You have to differentiate yourself.
Right.
You have to really believe in your idea. You want to bounce it off friends. You want to also try to do a business plan so you can put it on paper in terms of crystallizing what you really mean.
So you do all the homework, right? This is what you did.
You
with
have to
Essence.
do the homework. You have to rely on your own experience in terms of what you bring to the world, but do your homework in terms of understanding your idea.
Okay, so you have to have a plan of action. You're going to need some money, of course, right?
Yes.
So you have to figure out where that's coming from, how much you need. Who do you call on?
Friends, family first. Right. You may want to go to private equity firms, then banks. Those are the institutions that hopefully will be able to do the financing for you.
Okay, it's so competitive out there. I mean, yes. I don't know if you were worried about this, but there are some people who say, you know what, I'm afraid someone's going to steal this idea. I mean, should you be fearful of that or just keep going straight on?
You need to keep going.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about that.
Right.
Believe in your idea that I know this is going to be different and I'm going to make it work, and stay focused and do it.
Your parents were quite an inspiration for you. When you grew up in the South Bronx, they really were helping you to think positively. Made a difference in how you succeeded in life?
Absolutely. I owe my mother, Jewel Clark, who had 4 things she wanted me to do: be a proud black man, take care of your family, get a good education, and try to do the right thing. She set the tone, the values. She was a beautician. My father was a janitor at City College. Mm-hmm. He worked for 25 years, worked very hard. And so the inculcation of the work ethic was a very part of my DNA.
Very much instilled.
And the importance of education.
Yep. So the question to you, I think I know the answer to this. If someone's out there watching right now and thinking about what you've done and they want to do pretty much the same thing, is it worth it? Is it worth all of that?
It is absolutely worth it. I wanted to be my own boss, and so that motivated me to want to start on my own. And so it's worth it. Remember, businesses were started in the Depression, and so many companies have grown. So it's just to have a desire that you want to do something that's going to have impact and make a difference.
And not to worry about the competition. I mean, you know, it's fierce. I mean, everybody's trying to come up with an idea, especially in the technology field.
Yes.
Someone's come up with a great idea. They make $1 billion overnight. So should you be concerned about competition? Should
I
you
don't
worry
think so.
about it?
You shouldn't worry about it if you believe in yourself. After all, we live in a capitalist world, and it's about competing. And so you feel that you're the best, you want to be the best, so you go for it.
And it must feel good for you to inspire others. You told me before we went on the air, you ran into some young women in Central Park, some young girls who said, hey, hi, how are you? And we're excited.
Just beautifully quiet. I was jogging this morning at Central Park, and these 3 young black ladies said, Mr. Lewis, you're an inspiration to us. Thank you. That made me really feel very good in terms of knowing that Essence has touched the lives of so many black women.
We have enjoyed your success and also enjoyed talking to you. You've given us so much information. Your book is right here, and I'm going to ask you to do something for me before you go.
Yes,
Would you sign it?
indeed.
I've got a pen right there.
Ernie.
Okay, Edward Lewis, thank you so much for joining
I'm on my
us.
way down to the Essence Music Festival.
Wonderful.
In New Orleans over the 4th of July
Over
weekend.
the 4th of July in New Orleans,
In
have
New
a
Orleans.
great time at the festival and enjoy it, okay?
Oh,
Come
indeed.
back and visit us again sometime.
Thank you for having
Edward
me.
Lewis, our good guest. All right.